Here are the tools used in sewing. Sewing tools are the different tools used in garment production. The skillful use of these will help the body measurement and draft pattern with accuracy and speed. This lesson will provide knowledge of the different tools which are necessary in sewing. Let us start with the measuring tools. Are you familiar with measuring tools? Where do we use the measuring tools? Very good. Your ideas are correct. These are tools used to take account of quantitative data like length, width, height, circumference, etc. What measuring tool is this? Very good. This is a tape measure. This is a flexible measuring device used in taking body measurements. Tape measure has two faces. The front has the measurement of 150 centimeters and 60 inches on the other side. Are you familiar with this measuring tool? Have you used this kind of tool? This is a sewing gauge. This is a small ruler with a sliding guide and is about 6 inches long. It is used for measurements at hemlines, buttonholes, and areas where other small measurements require checking, such as pleats and tucks. Sewing gauge is usually made with metal or plastic. This tool is used when measuring 12 inches or even 18 inches. Do you know what measuring tool it is? Very good, that is correct. It is a ruler. It is a useful tool to have for measuring and drawing straight seam lines and cutting lines. It also aids in connecting lines. A clear ruler is also a good tool for marking buttonholes. How about this tool in the picture? Are you familiar with this? Very good. Indeed, it is a yardstick. A yardstick can be made of a smooth, shellac hardwood, metal, or even plastic. It is used for making hemlines and checking grain lines when laying out the pattern. Have you seen an L-square? In dressmaking, this is the L-square used. The Taylor square or the L-square is used to transfer measurements to the draft pattern. It also divides the garment into the desired measurement. It has perfect square and is useful in making straight, vertical, and horizontal lines. L-square has two arms connected perpendicularly. The long arm is 24 inches long, while the shorter arm is 14 inches long. What if the sewer needs to measure curved lines like that in the neckline or in the armhole? What tool should be used? Yes, the sewer needs to use this tool. Do you know what this tool is? Correct! This is a French curve. This is used to shape the depth of the neck hole and the armhole in the pattern. Look closely at this picture. What tool can you see in the picture? This tool resembles the shape of the curve of the hip of the human body. What tool is it? Correct! This is a hip curve. This tool is used in connecting and shaping curve points. Our next group of tools are what we called cutting tools. Are instruments that serve well if properly maintained. Sharp cutting tools make clean cuts and well-defined notches, and they do not damage fabric. On the other hand, dull tools slow cutting process and make the hand and wrist tire easily. Always remember not to use sewing cutting tools in other household tasks. Another thing, cutting tools must be sharpened regularly and the joints are oiled occasionally for better use. So if you want to make your cutting tools last longer, always remember these tips when using cutting tools. Now let's move on to the different cutting tools used in sewing. Are you familiar with bent-handled dressmaker shears? So if you are thinking about these scissors, you guessed it right. This is the bent-handled dressmaker shears. The best type of these scissors is made of quality steel and hold a sharp cutting edge. The blades move easily and cut smoothly along the entire length. Shears have the length of 7 to 12 inches and are satisfactory for most apparel fabrics. Have you seen this kind of scissors? Have you experienced using this when cutting a fabric? These scissors will leave a mark like this when cutting a fabric. This scissors is called pinking shears. This is popular in zigzagging or scalloped edge or for seam finishes. This is used to finish seams and raw edges and to create decorative edges on many types of fabric. It cuts a ravel-resistant edge. Look at the material being cut in the picture. Yes, it is leather. It is much thicker and more difficult to cut than ordinary fabric. What cutting tool should be used to cut leather better? Very good. This is the leather shears. These are used for cutting leather and suede. Leather with a flash side rubbed to make a variety of nap. These shears have heavy serrated edge. How about the sewing cutting tool? Are you familiar with this? Have you used this kind of tool? Yes, that is correct. This is a thread clipper. So if you want to cut excess threads on sewn fabric or dress, you can use a thread clippers. Thread clippers are handy little spring-loaded cutting tool that allows for the snipping of threads. Remember this. These clippers are specifically used to snip or cut threads, and they are not designed to cut fabric. Nowadays, this is the thread clipper used. What sewing cutting tool should you use if you want to remove the incorrect stitches made on fabric? Can you use the big scissors or shears for this purpose? Look at this very short video clip. What sewing cutting tool is used in the video? That is correct. This is a seam ripper. Seam rippers are specifically designed for ripping out stitches from seams, either as a result of an error or during alterations. So if you need to remove stitches which may be caused by a sewn in wrong directions or stitches which should not be in that place, or your sewing machine is skipping stitches, this is the sewing cutting tool to use. The hook of seam ripper quickly rips seams, open buttonholes, and remove stitches. Seam ripper should be used very carefully to prevent damage to the fabric. Have you seen a rotary cutter and mat? If not, here it is. The rotary cutter and mat. It is an adaptation of the giant rotary cutter used by the garment industry. It works like a pizza cutter and can be used by left and right-handed sewers. This cutter is available in different sizes with different blades. When using a rotary cutter, work on a cutting mat to protect the blade and the cutting surface. Our next cutting tool is trimming scissors. Trimming scissors is 3 to 4 inches long. It is used for trimmings, clipping threads, and snipping slashes. Embroidery scissors. It has 4 to 5 inches finely tapered blades. Both points are sharp for use in working with fine details in delicate fabrics and in embroidery work. The buttonhole scissors. Why do you think this is called buttonhole scissors? Because this is intended for making buttonholes. Our third classification of tools based on their uses is marking tools. Marking tools are required for transferring pattern markings to garment fabric pieces and for making alterations on garments. Look at these tools in the picture. Don't be confused. These are not your ordinary coloring pencils. These pencils are used by dressmakers when marking on fabrics. Do you know what these are? Very good. These are chalk pencils, or also known as the dressmaker's pencils. These are available in white and pastel shades. These chalk pencils are used to make fine lines on fabric. They have a erasing brush at the end. Don't worry about the marks on the fabric because they can easily be removed by pressing. Are you familiar with liquid marking pen? This is a liquid marking pen. Liquid marking pens come in two types. There is one that washes out and one that just fades after 48 hours. Those that wash out should not be used on fabric that show watermarks. The marks should be removed before pressing the fabric. What marking tool is used in this picture? That is correct. This is a tailor's chalk. This is one of the most commonly used marking tool by sewers. It is available in different colors. This is essential as a marker for use on materials. Tailor's chalk is available in a range of colors and is removed by brushing. Look at this picture. What tool is used by the sewer? This is available in many colors. What is it? Very good. This is wax chalk. This is available in black, white, and others. This is used for woolen fabrics. Wax chalk leaves considerably thicker marks, but don't worry because wax can be removed by pressing. Is this familiar to you? That's right. It looks like a wheel to me. Sewing, there is a tool like this. Do you know what this is? Very good. This is a tracing wheel. Tracing wheel leaves marks like this on the fabric. It is a sawtooth with a sharp point. This tool is used to transfer pattern markings to the wrong side of the fabric. This is used with the Dressmakers carbon paper. How about this? Are you familiar with this? You're correct. This is what we call Dressmakers carbon paper. Dressmakers carbon paper, also called dressmakers tracing paper, is specially waxed carbon paper that transfers the tracing wheel's markings to the fabric. How should you choose the color of the tracing paper you will buy? The color of tracing paper should be chosen that is close to the color of the fabric. Different brands of tracing paper have different instructions. Therefore, the instructions for the particular brand that is purchased should be followed. Our last set of sewing tools are the pinning and sewing tools. Can you give example of pinning and sewing tools? When we say pinning, attach or fasten with a pin or pins in a specified position. Can you now give example of pinning tools? Let us find out in our next slides. So let's go. From the word pinning, what do you think is our first tool? You guessed it right. Very good. We have pins. From the given pictures, where do we use pins? That is correct. They hold patterned pieces in place. Anchor seam allowance as you saw. Fit fabric on the body and secure all sorts of squirmy trims, delicate sequins, and minuscule beads. Not only beginners use pins when fastening fabrics, patterns, etc. Even experts use pins. Remember that. What sewing tool is seen in the picture? That is correct. This is a pin cushion. What is the purpose of a pin cushion? A pin cushion holds straight pins and needles while working to prevent accidents. Watch this very short video clip. What tool is used in the video? I know that you are very familiar with this tool. What is this? Very good. The hand needle. As you can see in the picture, hand needles come in different sizes. Sizes of 7 to 10 are for general hand sewing, used in making temporary stitches and buttonholes. The size of the hand needle will depend on the size or thickness of the fabric you will use. This is one of the most important tools in sewing, especially in sewing using a sewing machine. What is it? Very good. This is the sewing machine needle. What can you say about the needles in the picture? Excellent observation. They come in different sizes. The common available sizes are 14, 16, 17, 18, 19, 21, 22, and 23. Sewing machine needles are graded according to diameter and length. The sizes of the sewing machine needles depend on the fabric weight and the fabric types. If you have clear vision, you will not need to use this tool. But if you have poor vision, then this tool is very useful for you. The sewing needle threader. It aids in pulling the thread to the needle. The wire will create bigger hole, so it will be easier for you to insert the thread in the wire. The needle threader is consists of two parts, the handle and the wire. The end of the wire that is away from the holder is folded. Place the folded wire of the needle threader through the eye of the sewing needle. Are you familiar with this tool? This is thimble. How important is this when sewing? A small hard-pitted cup worn for protection on the finger that pushes the needle in sewing. For your last task, write what you understood and realized as a student or as a member of the family in this lesson. Write your reflections on the activity sheet I gave you. Goodbye, class! This is your teacher, Mrs. Arlene A. Valenzuela.